Chase, here's your video. Hope you and your dad get a chance to watch it. Pretty good job last night, or actually a couple nights ago. Uh, and I hope you get some good information from this, and we can develop a plan of attack here for some of the issues that may be holding you back. Okay. So I'm going to go through the same type of thing here. I'm going to start you up here at the top. See if you post your leg up or do you get some early momentum. So by the time you break your hands, this is a time that your hands are broken apart pretty far. You haven't gotten too far off that line. If I drew a line here, you see you've got a lean here. You also have a slight ipsilateral lean, which is a lean towards your feet, towards the inside part of your body, more than you have anything kind of going out this way. So it's one thing that we should work on right away is getting some early momentum. We also want to take a look at our arm. Look at how you're opening up your hand here. It's a little unusual that you're showing the ball like that. What I should see are your fingers on top of the ball there. I shouldn't even really see much of the ball. It puts your arm into a position that's better so that you can lift the elbow and lead with the elbow and get a nice pull on the shoulder. That's called a pre-stretch that you'll get that will help you when you receive forces after you land your front foot to snap your arm backwards and to get that nice rollover effect. But watch how you lift your arm, and then you have to turn your hand over, so your body doesn't really you don't get the arm up because the hand is in the process of turning over. So I don't think you can really do two things at once there. So watch how your elbow, take a look at the angle of your elbow there, just a little low. Okay, you see that? We want that elbow to be, well, let's just do it this way, actually. And that's what I wanted. You're at a 68-degree angle there. We want to see that elbow somewhere up in the 80s, upper 80s. Sorry it took me so long to get that angle. Sometimes my eyes can't see what I want to say. But yeah, we want to get that elbow up more towards shoulder height, about 86, 87 degrees. And you can't get that if you don't, lead up with the elbow. So from here, you kind of become just a hand lifter. Okay? So let's pull you out into your load phase. Let's take a look at your load. When your front knee breaks your front hip, I'll just draw the arrows real quick. Let's take a look at your force vector, a little high. We want to see that angle down here, and that's going to come with early momentum. So if you don't get the early momentum, but when you get into this part of your phases where we really want to see an acceleration of speed, and we want to see that the back leg extends and turns, but with that extension and turn comes a lot of velocity from that back leg. The back leg speeds up the body, and we don't get too much speed there. Kind of just, you see, watch your back leg, it just kind of rolls over, kind of sinks, and just kind of turns. Another indication that you don't get too much back leg drive is the fact that when you touch your heel down here, you're still connected to the rubber, so the foot's not off the rubber. So we're losing some ankle extension, knee extension, and hip extension, which when you don't get that, you're not going to get the hip and shoulder separation. So let's take a look at your hip and shoulder separation. I can't really measure that until we brace up our front knee, which is about right here. So where's our hip and where's our shoulder? What I want to see is the hip here, but the shoulder back here. So we got to work on some hip and shoulder separation to really improve your velocity. And that's going to come with more back leg drive, back leg extension on the ankle, the knee, the hip. All right. And we're going to get off that rubber when we get that power. Let's take a look at our front leg. How do we land? About 104-degree angle. Oh, maybe not. Maybe it's like 108. All right, that's a pretty small angle. We want to see that down here somewhere. So we want to see those legs brace up. So that's what you got to work on this week, is getting a good pushback on that front leg. And you should be able to do it because you're not powering too hard from the back side. So um, that's something that will come in repetition. It's a motor skill thing, and it's also a strength issue. So we're going to work on some power things with your leg. I do like your glove arm, though. Your glove arm is nice. Elbow's in a good position. See how you turn the glove over? That's perfect. Notice how your body chases your glove. You don't pull the glove in like a lot of coaches say you do. You really don't. The body comes to the glove because you're moving so fast. All right, so anyway, you brace up at about 108-degree angle, which means you can still get a lot more velocity if you're able to extend this knee back. Okay, now also what comes with the hip and shoulder separation, if we want to go back to that real quick, when you get good hip and shoulder separation, Chase, you're going to, what that does is it creates a tremendous amount of torque in here, so you have the shoulders going this way and the hips going this way. So you got a twisting effect. It's counter rotation going on. As the shoulders go back, the hips come forward. That thrusts the chest out. That's a force multiplier in here. That multiplies the speed, which multiplies the speed of the arm. So when the chest thrusts out from that reaction, the arm will then lay back. You got a decent layback, but it will lay back sooner and quicker, and then it'll internally rotate out here sooner and quicker as your chest gets out. So when we're in this position here, it's called full external rotation. If I drew an angle on you, I see a very straight trunk. A 78-degree angle. Okay, when you're there, we want to see you down in the 50s. And then when you release the ball, we want to see you down in the 40s. And I think you're in the 50s now, maybe not even in the 50s, 60s. We want to see you down in the upper 40s, mid to upper 40s. So we're talking, 16, 17-degree differences there, which really translates into a lot of velocity. Okay, now when you release the ball, when you do get the power from the backside and you get the hip and shoulders to separate a little bit better, that chest will thrust over that knee. But you see how you're throwing behind your knee? Just another indicator that you just are not developing enough power. Okay, and you also may have some flexibility issues in the hips and in the back, and maybe even in the groin and in the hamstrings, because watch how when you finish, you don't really get that nice high leg lift. The leg just kind of comes forward on you. Your front foot spins out, so you kind of, you're trying to balance yourself because you can't get that nice layback or the nice leg kick up, which will flatten the back out. So you see how you're forced to kind of spin because your back leg here is kind of coming forward, so you have to spin to catch yourself, and you fall off to the side like that pretty awkwardly. So we will work on some flexibility and mobility in our lessons. That's going to be part of our lessons. So when we do our work together, a lot of it's going to be tackling these issues so that you can get better. It's not going to be throw, and then not really progress and reach the goals that you want to reach. So let's sit down together. Let's get a goal in mind, and you tell me what you want to be as far as a high school pitcher, and I'll do my best to get you there. But we take these things one step at a time, and that's the whole point of these videos, is to show you where you could get better and where there's places that are holding you back, so that we can really zone in on them, okay? So that's what I see here. I just see, lack of back leg power, an arm that doesn't get up enough because it's kind of, you're pulling it out of the glove wrong, a front leg that's not stabilizing quick enough and extending back to produce more velocity, throw that is behind the front leg, which is, again, which just goes back to the back leg issue, and some mobility and flexibility here. So when you release the ball, not a bad follow through. not a bad follow through, but when we are able to push back and get some more mobility and flexibility in here, you'll see that leg come up nicely and you won't be spinning off like this. Everything will go everything will brace up and the momentum will stop and your leg will come up to balance that momentum instead of, pushing you forward in this awkward little finish here, which leaves you in a bad position to field a ball to begin with, okay? So at least we can